Welcome to another edition of Kendall Sports Network's False Nine. I am Byron Garcia. I'm here with the man, the myth, the legend, my boy, Mark. How are you today?
I'm good. I'm a little confused as to why I'm on the left side on the screen today. I'm usually on the right, but threw me off there.
I
I'm
don't
good.
know. Maybe you're a superstar today.
I don't know.
All right. We have a lot to get to. Our last topic today might last a half hour. So we'll jump right into it. This weekend we had our arch nemesis. Forget Orlando, forget Nashville, forget Atlanta United. Um, Atlanta United could roll out 3 high schoolers, 2 toddlers, and entire class of blind people, and they would absolutely still manage to give Inter Miami trouble. Everyone was hyped for the game.
Yeah.
Tell us your thoughts on that game, man. Can you hear me? Technical difficulties?
Real tough game playing at Atlanta, especially with. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Bit of a delay, it seems.
I don't know. Okay. Well, I'll try to get that sorted out, but I guess I can work through it. Atlanta poses a big threat to Inter solely because of their attack and how they always play us. Especially now bringing in Emmanuel Latalat to replace the number 9 who left last year. They did a lot of work in the offseason, so it was only going to get tougher to play them, knowing that from the playoffs and how they bounced us. They can have, as you said, anyone playing back there, and it'll be a tough game. As long as they have Brad Guzan, he's going to save them.
Mm-hmm. I'll tell you my thoughts on
going
that
based
later.
off that, and just going based off that, it's going to be a tough game because Brad Guzan stands on his head every time he sees pink in his way. It's just that simple. The crowd's going to be pro Atlanta. I don't care whatever Messi goes. The crowd's usually Messi, but this is pro Atlanta. We're in hostile territory. Turf, whatever you want to call it. Good manager with trophies. Like I said, spent a lot in the offseason. $20 million, the most expensive transfer in MLS history for Latelat. So a lot of expectations there.
And it's funny because everyone hears that and everyone immediately points to Messi. Everybody immediately points to Messi. But people forget that Messi was a free transfer. He just got paid a shit ton of money, but he was a free transfer.
Yeah, of course. So start of the game is a lot of Atlanta going forward, really trying to set their game plan up on how they want to play, how they want to attack us. And they were dangerous, with the way they play with Amador and Lennon on the wings, being able to get up and down and serve balls in. It really poses a threat to Inter Miami in the way they have to defend and the way they have to attack at the same time. Because Alba can't be caught up so high because Lennon makes and runs in behind. Almiron picks up the ball. He's got to be wary of the 1-2 with Moranchuk in the middle. So it was a little feeling out for Inter Miami. And surely enough, Atlanta get a goal within the first 10 minutes. They scored in the 11th minute, I believe. Off what I just explained was Brooks Lennon making a run into the space vacated by Alba. Almiron picks up the ball, plays it over the top. Noah Allen goes out to meet him at the edge of the box. He takes one touch into the box. Latelat makes a run off the back shoulder of Falcon, and it's on his head. But a lot of people, or there's a question is, should Rocco do better? And that's one thing that you asked me, should that have been his ball? I think it should have been his ball.
Right. Now, before we get to the goalie debate, which is a big debate now, given how
Mhm.
poor a performance it was for Noble, regardless of the win. Something I noticed during the game was the absolute air superiority Atlanta had over that back line. That back line, it would have needed a ladder to be able to get up to Latelat's stratosphere.
Height. Yeah.
You're putting Noah Allen, someone who's probably my height, at center back. Should a little bit more height have been played given the players Atlanta United has?
I don't think so, solely because I believe Mascherano went with his best two pairings at center back and how they've been playing, no matter the height. They were able to overcome it in the second half.
Mm-hmm.
But will there be teams that pose a problem like Christian Benteke will be a problem within itself, just him.
Right. He
That
always
could
is.
be a
Always.
Toto Aviles and a Maxi Falcon. Yeah. So it just he played his best two center backs in this game. Messi made his return. We played our best 11. Giving Ray a rest on the turf and starting Lujan at right back.
Something I learned this game: Maxi Falcon, great hair, zero ups. I mean, this man, jumping over a credit card might be difficult for him. Zero ups whatsoever.
It's usually how
Not
it
for
goes.
effort,
I
but he
mean,
just had
no,
it.
David Luiz had great hair. He can get up there.
Oh no, yeah, I'm saying he's got great hair, but he has no ups.
Hey, you don't get both. You get one or the other.
You just said David Luiz has both.
I don't know. He was different.
Okay.
Yeah, I
But
mean Paolo
also,
Maldini, great hair, probably the greatest center back of all time.
okay, but David Luiz's hair much better than Maxi Falcon's hair.
Agreed, but Maxi
Not as good as
Falcon has that like Marcelo hair.
Pibe.
That's who?
Valderrama.
Oh, of course not. No one's ever gonna have that afro like that.
Okay,
No, yeah,
good.
no one's ever gonna have that like that.
Okay, just making sure that good. We're on the same page there. Alrighty, so
Uh,
now to the big debate. Noble. I mean, I looked at his performance and he just looked unconfident, lost, never in the right position, always in transition to possibly get to the right position. Yes, as Mr. Sean has so pleasantly put it, he just looked unsure of himself in every aspect of the game, coming out, handling the ball, just nothing that would instill confidence in me.
he looked like a third string keeper, which is what he is, honestly. So it's kind of very telling of the path this Drake Chandler saga debate will go. Not getting the start in this game and starting Novo ahead of him really tells a lot of what's to come, I believe. And, I think this is the reality for Inter Miami. The second keeper is someone who is unsure of his positioning at times, weak hands. So they're going to have to play through it.
Is Calendar moved?
I wouldn't be surprised if he is, to be honest. I would not be surprised because if you don't get that start this last game, and you get Novo ahead of you, it's going to be hard to get playing time then.
And here's my thing. This is someone who's getting called into U.S. men's national team camp, right? In Drake Calendar. You can't tell me that our keeper position has a better stable than the U.S. men's national team. Okay. This comment right here by Sean. Sean, I don't know the backstory. Mark, do you know? Did Mark freeze? Okay. Sean, if you can, I'm unaware.
I
If you
can't.
can help us out with what you're referring to, that would be great. I guess Mark did is having a little bit of technical difficulties, but yeah, I think he's right. I think if you have someone by the likes of Novo starting ahead of you, there's there's almost no coming back. Uh, because I believe Drake is a better goalkeeper than Ustari and Novo. So, like Sean might be right that a war of words is what's holding back um, Drake Calendar. While Mark gets back, just a few topics that we're going to hit on. We are going to be talking about the international break. We are going to be talking about the pairings, the center back pairings. We are going to be talking about a few things about Messi, a few players like Yannick Bright, and then the big news that broke today, which was the USL news. We'll leave that for the end. Sean here elaborates with how he told Drake he isn't the number one and won't be, and there was a little exchange of words. That's apparently that's what the streets are saying. Mark.
Yeah, I mean, it's he said this, he said that. Has he been ready to play? Has this whole abductor thing just been pushed off so he can get moved? So Rocco can get playing time? It's all very vague, and it's all there's no telling what the truth is. But like a lot of people envision is Drake gets moved. I don't think there's a way that he can get any playing time now.
Okay. Alrighty. Which is crazy to think that our the one position on the U.S. men's national team that was the deepest and the most stable, the most prestigious, is now the position that is in most disarray. Uh, I don't even know if Turner can get playing time in England anymore. Um, is Schulte still here in is it Philly?
No, he's at Nashville.
Nashville. Okay. Now calendar. I mean, it's insane. But okay, back to the game. Um, what did you see? Um,
I
in the
saw.
in the
I
first
mean,
goal.
oh, I brought it up. Where is it? Here, adding it to the stage. This. Basically, the diagram of the first goal is what I spoke about, and Alba occupying that space right behind Segovia and moving up like he likes to do in the way we play. And Lennon just takes advantage of it. Um, Almiron drops in pretty deep to receive this ball, plays it one time over the top, and Allen has to scramble. Lennon gets there. Latela first makes that run into the penalty area, then backs off and plays behind Falcon and goes off his back shoulder to
I was
get that
going to say
angle.
eventually he drops in behind Falcon.
Yeah, he lets Falcon get in front of him, and as soon as he does that, he goes back post, and Lennon reads it perfectly and puts the ball where it should be. You know, your striker goes up to get it, but like we were just saying, keeper has to do better.
Yeah. No. What's up, Skrilla? Nice of you to drop in. Thanks for the love. Yeah.
So
And listen, he went up and he was head and shoulders above everybody. There was nobody even close to be able to stop. And then, I mean, it was just a terrible play by Noble. Sean
yeah,
says we played Jordy too far forward. Yeah, yeah, he was caught out of position, and then he adjusted, but there was almost a 5 minute period where he acted like a petulant child.
yeah. We did adjust rather quickly, and it led into the second half. Um, and we'll get more into that as you know as we talk about what's going on.
Yeah,
You know, so then as soon as that happens, Inter Miami kind of like, or Messi, I should say, switched into this gear that I hadn't seen. Um, yeah, and this is true with playing a three-man back. It led to the goal. Lujan is really never gonna push up so much as we saw with Jello, we saw with Ian Frey. He's very defensive minded. I think Marcelo knows that, and he's happy playing that 3-back at times when we have possession going forward and Alba's bombing up. So that's the way we play, especially in a 4-4-2 or 4-2-3-1. We'll have that Lujan, Falcon, Allen type of back line there. But then, as I was saying, not to get sidetracked, Messi was engaged. I hadn't seen him play like this in a while for us. Tracking back,
taking the ball farther than the top of the box and running at players is what you're saying?
No, the tracking back, the getting in front of players with the ball, getting in defensively, winning duels, winning tackles, that kind of stuff.
So it was a more defensive midfielder engaged.
He was more engaged in that aspect of the game than we had seen before, since we had seen in a while, I should say. And that I think inspired the team. And there was a minute there, 2 minutes when we got that first goal, that we could have had two in that span. But that first goal, Atlanta plays the ball into Schlich. Busquets, Bright are in the area. Messi ends up taking the ball from him, sits down Williams, sends him for a hot dog, chips Brad Guzan, and says, I'm back. Let's get this game going. And I think we have the goal. If you want to play it,
yes, we
go
do.
right ahead.
And it's a Spanish call, so I will play with the audio.
You love that.
Felizmente para los intereses de Atlanta, allí estaba para despejar Schlich. La roba, la tiene Leo Messi, está.
Now, I'll play it again without the call, and I'll pause it right there.
Now, he gave his back to Messi. Messi was closing in on him.
He took his lunch money
very quickly.
He basically said,
he had
"Get
no
out
idea
of my
how
way,
close
little
Messi
boy."
was.
Yeah, I mean, took his lunch money. Said
he had no idea how close Messi was. And then Derek Williams, brother, I mean, have a hot dog. Go. He sent them 100% to the stands. I mean, he's still on the ground trying to pick up whatever's left of him.
And
that's just
Guzan is Superman, but there's nothing he can do
against us. Against everybody else, he made next 3 games he may let in 8 goals. Who knows?
But he always
against us, that guy just he does something. I don't know. He does some sacred witchcraft. He sages the arena or the stadium. He does something, because what that guy does to us in goal is we could have had 4 or 5 goals this game.
Right, and to Luis's point, I think it was a revenge game. It's almost like making a statement.
Everyone knows that Messi doesn't like to lose. Doesn't matter the game, doesn't matter where he's playing, he doesn't like to lose. That's the competitive nature in him, and that's what's instilled in this team. And you saw that he was more engaged than I've ever seen him in any game for us. There's been games I would say against Orlando in the Leagues Cup in his first year, he was engaged, really engaged. The Leagues Cup win, I remember him being full focused on that because it's a title.
Well, it was the tournament that he would be able to make the biggest splash early, because I don't think Miami, they didn't make the playoffs, but I don't think even if he was fully engaged, if he could have brought this team back, I just don't think we had the horses.
Yeah, and I think it goes back to a lot of it to last year's playoff.
Oh yeah, we've touched on that, Luis.
It goes back to last year's playoffs that I think, and I had said it last year as well, that third game Messi really didn't play his greatest. I expected a little bit more from him that third game, and I don't think he just had it.
Do you think he was disengaged mentally after?
I don't know if he was disengaged. I mean, remember, we had just come off. The week before we gave up a tying goal in the dying embers in a game that we could have won. Jean De Silva scored for Atlanta, so it was tough. But I don't think, that was. I think I rated him that game as the poorest I did maybe last year, and it was just he was just average. I think in that third game, even though he scored, I think Guzan had a lot to do with it. And I think this game he wanted to show Inter Miami is going to beat Atlanta, and there's not going to be a problem with it.
I mean, listen, to borrow a hockey term, last year Guzan stood on his head. Like, oh my God, everything. He stopped everything.
Yeah.
Sean says,
yeah. I think I believe Luis Suarez or Alba said it, that they really understand what the playoffs is now, and that every game is a must win, and you can't really take your foot off the gas. I think they said it after that game, or maybe in the preseason,
I would have said,
asking what the expectation was this season and stuff. Yeah, I think the whole team stopped playing to a certain point. I think it was just mismanaged by Tata and positional, and not putting Bright in and having Gomez out wide and this and that and playing Redondo. But that's last year. This year's team is not the same. So we'll just focus on how we played in Atlanta this time, which was pretty good.
and here's the thing: if you're Tata, the explanation is simple.
Mm-hmm.
You won the league, great. But now, after winning the league, you're going into the UEFA Champions League knockout stages, from one right into the other.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't understand how they don't understand the magnitude.
Just like I said, mismanaged last year, but nonetheless, we got halftime here tied. Oh well, before halftime, Suarez almost gets a goal off a press again.
That was the volley, right?
Here's
the one
the
where
he laid
down to kick.
Oh, this was the one where he got on his left foot and took it first time.
Right. Yeah.
And it just went far. But if he plays it across the face of goal, I think Allende gets a tap in. I think Allende is there for a tap in.
I don't. Yes,
it's hard to judge, but he's gonna take that shot 100 times out of 100 times. It's Luis Suarez,
and that's why I'm not mad. I'm okay with that.
He wants to score. Yeah. I mean, hell, against Cavalier, he was trying bicycle kicks.
Yes, he was.
The guy was living like he was playing at Liverpool. So, second half we're tied 1-1.
Yes, we are. Here we go.
Not streaming. I have nothing.
Look at this one streaming. Here. Mark running through his back.
There's nothing. I'm not streaming anything. I don't know what is going on. There's just one of those days.
It's that Miami. What is it? It's that Xfinity internet. Is what it is.
You know what? It's a lot of things in Miami.
Here we go. Mascherano didn't start Redondo. I mean, I don't think, and we've touched upon this. I don't think Redondo gets another start unless it's to give Busquets a breather. Because I don't think Redondo right now can sniff Yannick Bright's cleats, which leads us right into, what did you think of Yannick Bright's game?
His first half was, I'm going to start with his first half. He was superb, I think. I'm going to call him the destroyer of worlds.
Oh my God.
The Thanos, he snaps his finger and, everything ends for the opposition going forward. He gets down and dirty. Not afraid to put in a tackle. Obviously wins the ball, can play it wide, can dribble. So that guy is a black hole when in that midfield for the other team. So
Atlanta gets that early goal. Messi comes back and just breaks their heart.
Messi. He does what Messi does.
And then I feel like in that second half, they were emotionally spent. Your thoughts?
Atlanta, I think it's a trend with Atlanta this year. They have so much attacking prowess, I want to say, with those top four guys with Moranchuk, Sava, Latelat, and Almiron, that they should be scoring 2 to 3 goals a game easily. But there's something in that second half for Atlanta that hasn't really clicked. And this case, Miami really made a change after that first goal that led into that second half defensive instruction, which was they were going to play on the backs of the Atlanta forwards. They weren't going to let them get in behind, play them on the back, and track the run. In doing so, Atlanta didn't really play over the top on the right. They tried going left and through the middle. they had some opportunities, specifically when Noah Allen lost the ball. Almiron tackled him in the box, and then the ball gets played into Moranchuk, who then squares it to Latelai, but Saba just tackles him, and that's just miscommunication. So I think Miami escaped the goal there. And like Luis says, it's long balls because they have their wingers bombing up and down, and then Almiron and Moranchuk just sit back and receive the ball and just play it. Miami did a good job of not allowing Amador to get on the ball so much in the second half, and Lennon as well. A lot of their second opportunity came in a scramble where Muyamba received the ball, took a touch and let it rip. Rocco got a fingertip on it and was able to save. It was a dangerous shot, obviously. Might have been going out, but he got a fingertip on it nonetheless and keeping it out. So after that, it was a lot of possession by Inter Miami, up and down. I don't know how many times Allende was played in.
Right.
But there were times that
it never developed into anything really dangerous.
Gregerson, Williams made great clearances, one on the ground. Williams made there was one off a header that Allende tried to head across the frame of goal. Messi got denied on the free kick. Messi got denied again. Alba on a volley. So it was just Brad Guzan standing on his head, to be honest, really not allowing us to get any momentum, any goals. But it's not that we didn't stop trying. And then around the 62nd minute is when Miami fans kind of took a little gasp because I did notice that Messi injury, which we'll get into later. I did notice when it happened.
Well, so okay, let's back up a bit. There was a point where I'll go back to the first Atlanta goal.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about Atlanta's air superiority.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't remember when. It was before the Messi goal. I think it was right before the Messi goal, actually, that Atlanta had a goal called back. It was
for offside. For offside. It was pretty much the same thing.
Carbon copy of the first goal.
Pretty much the same thing. And I think that's when Miami really held back Alba from going up so high, or I guess making sure that space is covered. Either Noah Allen has to cover it, Yannick Bright tucks into the middle a bit, Segovia has to make that run back. So it was a lot of communication, and Miami got it sorted out.
And that's exactly what I wanted to get back to. You said in the second half, Miami didn't stop trying. There were chances. Well, there were opportunities created. No chances. Chances were
everything.
Between, but
you denied Messi point blank. It was just chance after chance after. It's not. We took our chances.
But here's the big difference between last year and this year. Last year, to create those chances, exactly what you're talking about, that Alba playing forward. Without Alba playing forward, it was metal grinding into dirt. There was nothing movement off. No creation offensively. A lot of the offense created last year was a lot of Alba coming down that left-hand side and then either coming back to Messi like he always does or playing it into Suarez. That's what was needed to create chances. Now, even if Alba stays back, like the adjustment was made, you see how many chances we can create because of the creativity that's up front. And I think that's one of the biggest differences in this team where it's not molasses if Alba doesn't come up and play.
It's where you have Allende playing on the right instead of Julian Gressel. It's where you have Segovia making those runs. It's where you have the improved ability of Yannick Bright to play a final ball. You obviously have Busquets, so mix that in with Messi and Suarez, you're going to have production, and you're going to have chances created.
Without it making it a necessity to leave yourself vulnerable in the back with Alba having to play forward all the time.
Yeah, I think with this, I think he hit it right on. Alba, if you notice in the start of the games, he's hugging that sideline really high. He is on that sideline asking for a switch. When he plays as like an inverted winger, in that center mid area and let Segovia go a little bit wide and come in, I think that's when he's more dangerous. He's able to get a shot off. He can play a short cross, a chipped cross into the box. He can play balls on the ground. He can find Messi, find Suarez. Even though he likes to get wide and play the cutback, I think him playing like this inverted winger type of thing it is better for us in the attack.
Okay. We get to what? I think it was the 72nd, something like that, where Mascherano starts.
We got subs on.
Yeah. Who was the first one out?
Kinemaski comes in for Segovia.
Yes, that was it. That was the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Benja came in. There were 3 changes, right?
Fafa came in. Benja came in. Redondo came in.
Okay, yeah, Redondo came in. That was
those
the
two.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, there's a strange thing with Benja this year that I think a lot of the fan base are critical of him. He hasn't had the best of games or the best of starts to the season. I think he's being played out of position, to be honest. He's not a wide player, in my opinion. He's more of a central 8/10, if you want to call it. More of an 8 because he's got a lot of he can track back and things like that. He lacks the pace to play out wide, and I think he lacks the final product to be a winger or a wide midfielder.
I'll give for those complaining about Benja, I have to give him his due. I have to give him his credit. I don't remember when.
I'm not discrediting in any notion. I'm just saying his poor production this year, I think it has to do with him playing in the position that he's not comfortable in.
And I think his ability to sacrifice, because in that game, I saw Benjamin Kremaski track back to almost the left back position.
He does it all the time when he tracks. There's no question about his engine, his motor, and his work ethic.
Step for step with whoever Atlanta was rushing down that side, and I was so impressed. I was like, "Is that Benjamin Kremaski?" I half expected it to be Alba, and no, it was Kremaski.
Yeah, he does have an engine, and he's going to use it, and he's in there to do his job. Wide, maybe not. So it just we'll see where the season takes him.
Okay, so in comes Fafa, and take us through. Well, before that,
in comes Fafa. But before Fafa, Redondo handball in the penalty in the area. Is it a penalty? Or are we?
I don't.
What are we saying?
And I don't know. I
Did
don't.
Redondo almost come on and have a cameo that he wants to forget about and never see the field again?
I don't remember it, to be honest. Remind me of the play.
It's in the box, and the ball just comes up on his hand, and Fafa is able to clear it, and there are shouts of a penalty.
Who had that happen to them last season, or was it the season before?
No, it was Ian Frey last season.
Yes, where he was sliding
at Columbus.
Where he was sliding on a tackle.
I want to say it. I think it was him or Avilas, and I think it was at Columbus, and I think that's the one Canada saved. I think maybe that's the one they scored. I can't remember. It was Frey. Okay, see, it was Ian Frey. I remember. Yeah. Okay, there we go.
It was such an unfortunate call because it was.
Well, this
there's
is
nothing
different.
he could do.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, his hand wasn't extended. It wasn't out of his body. It wasn't out of his range. He was, so I agree.
Yeah,
it was
to
a
me,
good
it was a natural
hand. People are gonna say penalty this and that. So, here we go.
Hand went up, yeah. Right. That's what I remember. That it was dragging behind him. Yes. That's what I.
Yeah.
So Fafa comes in. Tell me about
the Killian boy. Played at Killian.
Mm-hmm.
The Florida boy comes back home, scores a winner for the Herons.
Now we have the clip, but
I have the clip.
You have to pay attention because the clip is like half a second.
It's the bald head of Fafa beats the bald head of Buzan. Which bald head prevails?
Here we go.
Post! Redondo. Pico, back post! Redondo. Pico, back post!
Listen, I'm sorry.
No.
I don't care what you say. Guzan, that ball was going through traffic in the Palmetto. I
How
will make
slow
it
it was
bigger.
going. That's the one he doesn't save? Yeah, I know.
But that's what I'm saying. That ball was slower than anything. All right, so I
news.
guess
Hold on. Breaking
Sean
news.
is a Cougar.
No. We have goal. Oh, Inter Miami FC have just scored. They're playing Miami United. We'll get to that very soon. We'll get to that soon, but thank you, Luis.
And here's the thing. I don't know what Guzan is doing there.
He's not saving it. It's what he's doing because it's not Messi or Allende or Suarez. That's what he's doing.
Because if I come back here and I go slow, number one, I understand why he's not coming out. He's got two defenders there. I mean, he should have gone out and got it, but whatever. There's the top. You can't tell me that you can't react to this ball. Like he's just staring at it.
I think Williams goes in for it. He doesn't get it. Guzan, whatever. I'm taking it. We win off that. We win off that. We win.
Oh,
we win
Sean says
at Atlanta.
He'll shout out Killian, but he's not a Cougar. He doesn't represent.
He lived blocks away. He grew up blocks away is what he said. He didn't say he went there. Come on, man.
Well, I mean, it's
Killian
Miami,
Cougar
so.
comes back after a 5-minute stint in his opening match with Inter Miami at home. Was gutted for him because I knew he was excited to play in that game. So to come back and get this goal for Miami, what it meant for the team, you can see it in the elation of everyone.
Yeah, everyone was super happy.
I think this was a big goal going forward for us. A game that you really want to win. So Inter Miami pack it up, and the rest after the game, the news comes out, and we'll get to that now.
Now the news came out that there was, if I'm not mistaken, a small tear in abductor muscle fibers for Messi.
Lungus muscle.
Whatever.
There's a small injury, a muscle injury, a low-grade muscle injury in his left abductor.
Right.
That's what we're gonna say. That's what we're rolling with.
The diagnosis is he's old. It's simple.
But it also does. It's also how he strikes the ball, I believe, because with the amount of power he strikes that ball with, and the amount of power he struck that ball with, that he got injured, he felt it. I've been waiting for this guy to get here. It's been about a week that we were talking about him. I think saying goodbye to his club in Ecuador. But I believe the power he strikes that ball with had something to do with it.
Of course, but what I'm saying is
it's gonna look rest, recover, therapy. He's back. The timetable is 1 to 3 weeks. I can guarantee you he'll be. It's more to 3 weeks.
Right, but what I'm saying is, it's with that power, it's going to happen more and more because his body's just not.
But that's why he needs that. But this is why he didn't go with Argentina, which I was so happy about.
Yes, I agree.
Argentina, plays in the World Cup qualifiers against Brazil and Uruguay. Neymar is re-injured for Brazil, so
again,
whatever. Surprise, surprise.
So okay,
that
leads us into the international break. Inter Miami has a few players. Segovia is on the men's national team for Venezuela. Kremaski is being called up for the under-21s for the USA. Noah Allen with his new country did that one-time FIFA switch, is being called up for Greece in the under-21.
U21.
Yeah, and then Fafa is playing for the Haiti national team. Hopefully, at least for Benja and for Fafa, it may be good to get them some minutes. They can kind of sharpen up a little bit for to replace the lack of minutes here on
I'm sorry, it wasn't Fafa. I don't know why I wrote down Fafa for you. It was Santiago Morales got called up for the U.S. men's U18.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So the young guys are getting a lot of love
Okay.
for their international respective teams. So good for them.
Okay. And now we saved pretty much 20 minutes. And get ready for the comments because it always ends up. I think Skrilla's going to be happy about this topic. He derailed our
What are you
show
doing?
3 times a couple of weeks ago.
What topic is it?
It is the USL dropping a bombshell today, saying that they will introduce pro reg.
I had my things right.
Okay, there you go.
Show had my
Pro
things
reg
right.
into the U.S. market. From my understanding, it is a 3-tiered system using the two league infrastructures they already have in place for the second and third tier. They are now creating what in essence is a rival league to MLS, calling it Division 1, USL Division 1. The second tier will be the USL Championship, and then the third tier is going to be called USL League 1. I think it takes almost it copies almost the Premier League structure which I think with one less tier, right? I think the Premier League is 4 tiers.
The Prem is the Prem, the Championship, League 1, League 2.
Right. So it's 4 tiers. This one's just 3. Sean hit it here. It's pro reg next year. We
need to see how. I agree. You have to have this is a trial run for the MLS, I believe. This is a trial run to see how it works.
What would be the things that you are tentative about? What would be some of the things that you want to see worked out?
That right there is the number one thing. I think for me.
Okay.
You cannot cap. You cannot salary. You cannot have these teams trying to spend money and cap them when you want to have pro reg and be able to bring in other players to, I guess, balance some of it out.
So here's my question, right? What would be my only thing? And I agree with you. No salary cap and all of that stuff. Free market capitalism like it is everywhere else in the world. My question is this: what would happen if a team just overpromises, bites off more than they can handle, and now you have in the United States with such regulation on labor and all of that, all these players not getting wages? What would happen?
Wow.
That's good. I mean, we've had trouble with parachute payments here in the U.S. Already. We've had a few lawsuits as it is. Well, okay, and I think that will happen organically. With that was one of my concerns, but I think this will happen organically.
You think so?
If I'm a USL Division 1 team, and I'm close mid-table, lower mid-table, and what's to say, listen, you're getting paid peanuts in the MLS. You're getting paid what, $900,000? If that.
And you're talking to spot starter MLS players here?
Yeah, or maybe someone who's on the fringe of being a regular, and what's stopping them from saying,
and you offer them more as a USL starter, and then you have more parity or competition in those USL low tier to bring that team up?
Yeah. I mean, isn't that what Saudi Arabia did? But the other way, Saudi Arabia took
endless money. Players. They took Gabi Viega, who was a young player.
Step up the league like I'm saying, where Exactly.
Saudi took whoever they wanted, really.
Right, but they went for more of the Asian
They did,
superstar
but
for
it's not like
marketing.
they have Malcolm, who's over there, who's a young player, I believe. Laporte is still relatively able in his prime, I believe.
So
Who else? Who else? Who else? I mean, Ivan Toney just went from Brentford to the Saudi Arabia.
right,
I mean,
but
that guy was playing for England in competition.
so what I'm saying exactly. So what I'm saying is, if you can have these moves happen organically, to this point, I think it'll happen because what's going to happen is you're going to basically poach guys who may not be able to break into the MLS as full-time starters. Say, I want to make that money and be able to be a full-time starter in the USL. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean, you're like you just said, those fringe spot starters or those fringe MLS guys. Here's a good one. David Ruiz, would he benefit from playing in USL?
Yes, I think he could possibly be a star in the USL. You know, that would be a good
It's a good question. If you spend a lot of money on salary and get relegated.
what happens in the Premier League?
Well, I was just using Manchester City as an example, but if they had those charges on them and they were to get relegated, those players would be free
Would
from their
all be
contract.
sold
So,
to teams that stay in the Premiership, right?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, well, you've had,
And I'll give you
who
the
can I
perfect
use?
example. I'll give you,
If Everton spend their money and whatever it is, they spend a decent amount on their salary and they get relegated, what's going to happen with like the likes of Mikalenko and Calvert-Lewin? You think they're going to stay there?
no, they're going to be wanting to be transferred.
There's one guy that's, Jamie Vardy has stayed with Leicester through and through.
Mm-hmm.
They got relegated, they're back up, this and that. He stayed with them through and through. But like you said, Mikalenko is one of them. Calvert-Lewin, those guys, what are they going to do? Are they going to stay? And Everton, if they no, they're going to want to play in the Prem. They're going to play for a low-tier Prem team that hovers around the relegation zone but is able to stay up because they have just a little bit more than those bottom three.
So I'll give you
go.
Here's this example. Let's use the NBA.
Okay.
And what Lewis was saying in this example,
mm-hmm.
I present to you the Phoenix Suns. If the NBA had pro
spent
rights,
a shit ton on salary.
Bye, they're gone.
You think they're relegated? I don't know what the record is.
They're way below. I think they're not even in the play-in in the West. Listen, when you bleed through and through, look, Mark was here before Messi. I was here before Messi. We were here suffering through Andres Reyes and oh my God, the Colombian who played for the US.
That guy became a good player. He became a good player. Juan Agudelo?
We suffered through Agudelo. We suffered through all of that. So you stay with your team,
This is what happens. You play the youth. This is if you spend money on saying get relegated, you played the youth.
100%.
You played your team too.
Yes. So I think that yes, it's just 100%. I was talking about that. What was it? That young
the first team, that COVID year team.
Yes.
Will Trapp was our captain.
Yes. Our best holding midfielder was Victor Ulloa.
No, Blaise Matuidi won a World Cup and then forgot how to play football. That was my favorite. Christian Macoun.
Oh my God, yes.
Oh, Roman
Dylan
Torres
Nealis was supposed to be the steal of the draft. And what's the kid who went to go play for Chile?
Robbie Robinson never played for Chile.
Well, he quit.
No, he went to their camp one day and just said, I'm good.
Yeah,
or they might have said, you're not good enough. Matias Pellegrini? Oh.
Yeah, but he got cut because of Blaise Matuidi.
Julian Carranza. Lewis Morgan, one of my favorite players.
Oh, I think he's a legend.
Lewis Morgan. Breck Shea.
Oh my God.
Federico Higuain.
Yeah, but Federico came later.
Federico was right on with his brother. They joined when
It was. I
they
think it
were
was a year later.
whatever. Same thing.
Oh my God, McCarthy.
John McCarthy
Uh-huh.
won. The guy that won MLS Cup with LA team. With
Mhm.
the
Yeah, so we suffered through
and
all of that. So I think that you
what
support
was
your
his name?
team.
Rodolfo Pizarro had
The Joker.
the Joker celebration. Scored
And oh
Inter
my God,
Miami's
what's that?
first goal
Also?
ever. Remember that guy was supposed to be like a great signing for us and just didn't do anything.
Well,
Scored our
he
first
was
goal.
the first signing. He was the first signing in club history.
He was our first goal scorer.
Oh my
Scored
God,
our
who's
first goal.
the Panamanian defender?
Torres.
Yes, jacked up more than anything, couldn't move.
They came from Seattle Sounders.
I think that the USL's TV deals, right, have to happen in a way that supports the league. And it's going to be a little bit difficult because I think it needs to happen in a webbed regional model. And what I mean is you have to include for example, in Miami, the Florida Panthers made the biggest move from cable, which was Bally, which now turned to FanDuel, like the Heat are, and they went to Scripps, which is what is it? The WB, whatever it used to be, WSFL, whatever. That's a local channel. It's a regional channel. So if you can strike regional deals where you can carry your team regionally in that way, I think that the TV deals are going to support the teams. It may not support a league, but I don't think you're there yet. I think if you can get the TV deals to support regional teams, I think the league can succeed in that sense.
I think this is a good one to start on YouTube. Would be a smart one.
Or like a Netflix.
You think Netflix would carry it?
Right.
And then they can strike a deal with Netflix.
Would eliminate anything and everything. Make one deal, have them broadcast all the games. Anybody with a Netflix subscription can watch any other games. And then you do kind of what baseball does, which is the revenue sharing. And then any grassroots money you make is yours to keep. But at least there's a infrastructure keeping you afloat with that revenue sharing. Yeah. But get relegated and you lose the revenue sharing. And I think that would be good for someone like, I don't know who's a part of the USL, but I don't know who's a part. Like I said, I don't know who's a part of the USL, but someone like
these are great. I think. Go for it. What are you saying?
That someone like, I don't know, like I know there's a team in Homestead, Homestead something. They're a semi-pro team.
FC Homestead United, Homestead CF, Homestead United,
whatever, Homestead something. But the point is, if they get good, right? They good players, and now they're playing in Division 1. Think of what they can do with revenue sharing money. Think of what they can invest. If they're already investing in their department to poke good talent out of the leagues in Homestead, or if for some reason, our namesake, Kendall, if Kendall can get a team together and play at, I don't know, Tropical Park or the Kendall Soccer Park. If you can,
I think there's teams. I think they play at Kendall. There's a semi-pro league at KSP called the Premier Football League, the PFL.
Okay.
This Miami United team that Inter Miami 2 are playing is from that league, their highest division, I believe. Okay. And they play other semi-pro teams.
Okay, so take this Miami United. Wait, did we? Oh my God. So you take that Miami United team, and all of a sudden you feed it a little bit of money from a regional TV deal or a streaming TV deal, and now all of a sudden the KSP League gets better coaches, gets better because at the end of the day that's their feeder, the feeder pattern like in schools. You can build a sustainable winning product on a modest, amount of money. You don't have to be Kyle. Look, Sean got me with that one. You don't have to be David Beckham to, make or get a team. You
I
can
agree.
support
It's
that.
I
Okay, but for who? For
I
us?
agree. You think we're up 3-1? He said,
Okay.
yeah, we're up 3-1. Let us know who
Your
scored.
thoughts on
I know Tyler Hall started and Christian Ortiz were starting this game for Inter Miami.
Okay, so your thoughts on
You know how I feel about the Apple TV deal.
right? I think it's terrible.
I hate it. For starting with the Apple TV, that's where you need. I think that deal's terrible. It takes away viewership from any other fan who doesn't have Apple TV. I think it could work specifically with what you said with the streaming services. This one is not a bad idea as well.
I just think that the way to go is
with-
regional.
Yes, and you get revenue sharing with the grassroots, and you get relegated, you lose it. Yes, you need, but is the regional following going to be enough in Homestead? Are people going to follow the region?
But that's on the team, because if you market, if you really put your roots into Homestead, and you rally your Homestead, at the end of the day, look at how many, aren't there like 500 teams in London, and each team has their following. So
They
don't give me that. Well, are people going to support?
But I understand, but I think the football culture in London is deeper and rooted more over there than it is here.
What does America love more than an underdog love story, especially when it's yours?
Yes, but they love underdog stories in March Madness.
Mm-hmm.
America's favorite underdog story right now is probably Wrexham FC.
Right.
Who are making a real push to go into the championship this season.
Okay, but now imagine
they were
Wrexham.
non-league. I believe they were non-league football.
Yes, they were.
They were non-league football. Went to 2, went to 1. They're in 1 now.
Sean is 100% right.
League 1. Sean's coming in today with the very, very good takes that I agree with.
Yes.
I mean, I there's sometimes I disagree and something like that, but dude, Sean is on the money today.
Luis, I would say this, right? To this point, Miami has the Heat, the Panthers, the Marlins, and the Inter Miami, right? All those 4 teams.
You just said the Marlins?
Yes. Well, that's for later. But they have those 4 teams. You can't tell me that you're going to go to Loam Depot, assuming we're the Kendall Sports Network. We're in, assume we're in Kendall. Kendall's what, 45 minutes away maybe from Loam Depot?
Depends on, not 45 minutes away. 30 minutes, man.
Okay, 30 minutes away from Home Depot. 45 from Kaseya.
From Home Depot?
No.
Or Loan Depot?
From Kaseya Center. We're about 45 minutes.
We're about 35, 40 minutes from the Kaseya, given traffic, 45.
Okay.
30 from Loan Depot, an hour from
Hard Rock.
Chase, 45 to 50, depending on traffic to Hard Rock.
Okay. And now you can ride your scooter to a Miami United game.
Amaranth Arena to 40 minutes.
Right. Or you can ride your scooter to a game.
But this is a good point. Where is it?
Yes.
I'm not
With
an
traffic,
hour.
yes. With
Sure,
traffic, 100%.
I can get there in an hour. I've got in there in an hour. That
Miami is the only city that could have neighborhood teams. Rest of America, outside of America,
I can see where he's coming from, honestly. I can really see it. How many teams, like, is the popularity going to be there in Ohio? Is the popularity going to be there in the team in Atlanta?
I'll tell you why it's going to be there in Ohio.
Why?
Because who the hell goes and watches, I don't know, a team in March Madness? Only the people in Ohio who the school.
Oh, what do you mean?
So to this point, hold on.
What do you mean?
Wait, where is it? This one. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the point he's trying to make is that you couldn't handle neighborhood teams. I don't know if that's what he's trying to say, that there just isn't the
following, the interest
fan
in the
base
neighborhood.
to support. And what I'm saying is you have all these in March Madness, all these small market schools that
They're small
is
markets, but
is
they
the size of college sports is the closest thing to neighborhood teams.
With a
But
small school, with a small Division I school, yes. Like Alabama State, a school of 4,000 students, has a small following, but they're going to follow that team in March Madness. I understand.
And they're going to follow them wherever they go.
Yes. But I think you can't compare March Madness to a random 2:30 football game in the middle of Ohio somewhere. I think the magnitude of March Madness alone attracts those fans from everywhere.
Okay, but there's going to be
what's the average fan base? What's the average attendance at one of those Alabama State games for basketball? If they're so deeply enrooted in it.
Okay, but that's where I think the carrot at the end of the stick is what carries this through. Remember we talked about the revenue sharing? Every small team is going to want. Okay, but you're talking about Michigan, you're talking about Ohio State, you're talking about these. I'm not talking about that type. In the EPL, you would be talking about Man City, Liverpool. That type of team can fill 100K stadiums, but nobody's saying that Crawley Town is going to be able to fill a 100,000 seat stadium. But Crawley Town can build a stadium that's
they have their own ground, but they had not even smaller. It's even smaller. I'm pretty sure Crawley Town has maybe 2 stands, and the others are pitch side, just standing around, maybe or maybe not. I'm thinking of another team. There are teams in England, but there's teams in England. Yeah, there's teams in England. Yes, I get the point. There's teams that have 2 stands, a north stand and a south stand, and on the sides behind it's basically a track. It looks like a track, or it's grass, or whatever, and the supporters stand there and watch. The dugout, the changing room is a singular building, and they walk out.
Right. So 6,000. That's what I'm saying. You don't. If you can fill a 2,000 stadium, if you can fill up what FIU used to be, not the new Pitbull one.
You think a neighborhood team is going to fill up? Miami FC play at FIU, and they don't even fill up the whole thing.
Miami FC is terrible at marketing.
They just moved into the soccer stadium at FIU. They're not using the football one. I don't think they're playing Naples United. I think they played them yesterday.
Listen, I've been to FIU soccer games. Those stands are full.
How full?
Yes, full.
Oh yes, because you're talking about a national. They were good.
They are good. I used to go all the time. You can't tell me that if you put a good team together, like let's say that KSP team, you can't get 2,000 people there. Of course you can.
I don't know.
But that's what I'm saying. If you can get those regional deals that create revenue sharing, you can get USL Division 1 teams to feed off of that money. Where if you get a team that makes a run, one season with that revenue sharing money could probably keep them afloat for a couple of seasons at, even if they get relegated. So I think that you absolutely can the league can survive this pro-reg off of a regional TV deal. I think it's possible. I think it can be done. Mark is up to something devious right now. I see it.
I'm not.
He's
I was just looking.
all
I was
over the
looking at a
place.
team. I was looking at a team in the Prem who was promoted 3 years ago. The team made moves upon moves,
You don't think?
and they are
I'll
now.
tell you.
They
I'll
were
ask
top.
you
They were.
this.
They were sitting list. They were sitting fourth of the league. They were sitting fourth this season.
Who?
What team am I? Nottingham Forest.
Uh-huh.
I think that's the team that if you're USL or some sort of mid-tier championship team, that's the team you want to model after. They got their players, they got their TV right. They're on NBC and all that stuff has their rights to the Prem games. They spent the money and they're staying up.
Right. And to this, do you know how many people the MLS has angered and has? The MLS isn't the league with the best rep right now. I feel that would the MLS badge help? 100%. But there's a lot of hatred for the MLS with this whole Messi thing that I feel like the USL did it in the right moment at the right spot in the right time, given Messi mania and how much the MLS has alienated fans for a cash grab. I think it's the perfect time, actually. Your thoughts, Mark?
I mean, we did piss off a lot of people with the Messi. No one really paid attention to the MLS. Now all eyes in Europe. You've got people covering Inter Miami in Europe. You've got people covering Messi from. I think they jumped on it at the right time.
I agree. I think this was
think
the perfect timing.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I think that this is the perfect timing for them. I think that this might work. This might be. I put it this way. I think this is going to be such a success that the USA is going to go into a 4-tier system, and the MLS is going to buy and swallow the USL. And what you're going to have is a big tournament to decide what teams stay in the quote-unquote MLS. That would be amazing. Yeah, I think that you're looking, or what is it, NBA, CBA? Was it CBA?
ABA?
ABA?
There's
Yeah.
30 teams in the MLS right now. Let's say we get pro reg for that.
Uh-huh.
You're relegating 3?
So let's say, yeah, thank you, Sean. Appreciate that. If you split it up into 15 and 15 to
east-west,
and there's
the bottom 2 each, 4. You relegate 4.
2 each,
you promote 4.
4. I think 2 each is not unreasonable.
Number 1 gets an automatic. Let's say number 1 in the championship gets an automatic, or in the USL Division 1, the highest,
and this
gets the automatic.
Luis is right with this. The MLS owners would never allow it. But every single USL owner is already in. And if you start mirroring, if somehow USL was able to come within sniffing distance of MLS in terms of merchandise, in terms of TV deals, in terms of all of the things, not I'm a billionaire, as a league in revenue, I think the MLS would have no choice but to do something about it, because you can't be surpassed by the USL. I don't know if that makes any. 26 teams?
Yeah, you dropped 4.
Yeah, possibly. I see. Here's the thing. I think this goes away.
What?
I don't think playoffs exist anymore.
You think it's just one champion?
Yeah. What? I don't know any other league that has playoffs. The playoffs would be the lower tier leagues.
No, yes, getting into the higher league.
Yes. That's what I think would be the
most
playoff system.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's a lot of framework to get in, a lot of logistics, and
hey, Alexi, thanks for joining us. I don't agree with Lewis. Don't be surprised if MLS merge with Liga. Listen, it very well could be. The one thing that might stop that from happening, though, is travel. What is it? In London, I think in the Premier League, I think the biggest, was it Miami, Atlanta, is equal to the biggest distance any team has in England.
What's the furthest a team would drive or would go?
I think Miami, Atlanta, I think is a longer distance than that. So that's the only thing that might prevent that. I don't know how deep the pockets go in Mexico. Okay. So, I mean, Mexico does it, right? Mexico does apertura, clausura type thing.
Something like that.
I mean, the Panthers played Edmonton, and that was what? 6 hours, something like that, of 6-hour flight? Something like that?
I'm just trying to see the law. Let's see.
The owners want money and emerge. Yes, that's true. And that's where they're going to go. But if USL can get within striking distance monetarily without that good old boy millionaire, I get to do whatever I want, and if my team sucks, my team sucks, then it would force a change. Possibly. I think I read that somewhere. I mean, Twitter's a powerful platform that gives me nuggets like that I see and forget.
Let's see here. Newcastle United, all the way up there. How long is the distance from Newcastle United to Bournemouth? That's probably the furthest one.
Just like Sean said right here. He nailed it for you.
Where?
And I think you're right, Luis. That would be, if USL could force the MLS to do this, I think the USL wins. What do we got here? Google Maps.
Let's see. It's gonna tell me. 294 miles.
294.
Is the different? That's what here to Orlando.
Yeah. Maps. I'm gonna do Miami. I'm gonna do Miami to Atlanta.
Miami to Orlando is 236. Add 60 miles. I mean, we've just turned into a geographical absolute.
Yeah, Miami to Atlanta is a 10-hour drive, but it doesn't 696 miles.
Yeah. Maybe Jacksonville. I don't know.
Whatever. The point is, the travel is ridiculously short in the EPL. I don't know if Mexico to Miami, Monterrey, aside from these tournaments, is a feasible thing.
Where's Sean
291
at?
here in Orlando.
Sean, where are you at?
From Gainesville, yeah, that's a good right. That's why I think if the USL can build itself regionally,
Mhm.
I think you may have something.
I mean, it's got to start somewhere, right? So
Right.
this USL Pro Reg is going to be telling to what we're going to see, what the owners want to see, how it wants to work, and what TV deals can be made out of it, or what streaming services will be interested.
And
There's
that's
a
the
lot
biggest
of
hurdle for the USL to travel.
it'll be interesting.
Yeah. And I knew it was going. We saved 20 minutes for it, and we've already been almost 40.
It's your fault. You decided to talk about this.
I know, but I feel like we couldn't finish the show without talking about it. It being
I agree.
big news
I mean,
today.
I agree. Inter Miami have international break now, 14 games until their next the CONCACAF Champions League game against
Thank you, Luis. We appreciate it.
who do we play? LAFC. We play the 29th against.
Yes, that's
We
our
play
next
March
opponent,
29th
LAFC.
against Philly. That's our next league game. Messi's not going to play in those games. We have more than enough. So, you want to do a world soccer wraparound? I don't know.
No, I think we're okay with the international break. I think that next week we'll come back with a show that covers a lot of the stuff outside of Inter Miami.
Well, Benja was getting looked at by Tottenham, so we'll see.
I don't know. Do you believe that
We'll
one?
see. I mean, there was his first or second year. Bayern Munich were scouting him, I believe. So I wouldn't be surprised.
Okay.
We'll see.
All right, guys. Well, with that, we appreciate the banter. Great interaction. We absolutely love it. Follow us down here at the bottom. You can find our social media. We're very active on X, on Twitter. I'm trying to kick one of our other partners in the butt to be a little bit more active on IG, but we're there too. Interact with us, follow us, shout us out on Twitter. Comment, talk to us. Mark is really good at answering back as well. We have, if you're a football fan, we have the Dolphin Chronicles that's coming back now in April for the draft on Mondays. And then if you're into the Hurricanes, we will have Hurricane Warning as well for Hurricanes football. We're trying to work on getting a Panthers show. We're trying to work on getting a Marlins show. We're going to try to bring as much Miami sports coverage to you as possible. And we appreciate the support. Thank you. Sometime give us a little bit of some time, and we'll have tell your friends to follow us on social media on X. I'm gonna work on giving away some Inter Miami merch there soon. Oh, nice.
Hold on. I'm gonna look at this roster right now.
I'm gonna work on some giveaways for some merchandise. We appreciate the support. What do you have there?
Oh my God! I never thought I'd see him again. Victor Ulloa plays on this team.
Oh God!
Ozzy Alonso, Matt Hedges, Benny Feilhaber,
Oh my God!
Phillips, AJ De La Garza, Dax McCarty,
Jesus,
Sasha Kleshin.
It's the U.S. men's national team
Lord.
10 years ago.
Mikey Ambrose. Mikey Ambrose. Oh,
is Dempsey on the team?
Lord, no.
Oh my God, is Eddie Johnson or what is it?
No, none of them.
What was
None of
Finley's
those
name?
guys.
What's his first name?
Who?
The guy who took a striker spot out of nowhere and scored absolutely 0 goals for
Josie
us.
Altidore?
No, it was Finley was his name. Oh my God, Sasha Klestin.
Why can't I think of his name now? Finley?
Yes, it was Finley. Yes.
Brother, I can't remember off the top of my head right now. I can't. Oh, dude, I think I found my team.
Okay, there you go.
Menace.
I want to say it was Ethan, but I don't think it was Ethan Finley. Yes, you see, Ethan Finley. Yeah, it was Ethan Finley.
Ethan
He
Finley.
stole a roster spot out of absolute nowhere.
From who? From who?
God, who didn't go?
As the president of Parma?
It might have been Eddie Johnson that got left home.
Oh my God. The owner of this club owns Parma.
Oh, there you go.
Kyle Kraus. I think Sean just put me on this team.
Huh, there you go. All right, guys. We got to get out of here. We love it. Keep bringing it each and every week for Mark and for everyone here at Kendall Sports Network. Thank you so much for the support. We'll see you guys next week. Peace, guys.